Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is November 14th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. California is off here to the bottom right. You can see we got some showery weather that's going to be moving in today. Frontal system will be draping down across much of the state. It's losing some of its punch as it moves towards Southern California, but it does have some cold air aloft. It's going to be kicking up some winds, and some snowfall could even fly across some of the transverse range and some of the peninsular range. Got some snowfall occurring across some of Northern California right now. That's going to be swooping down the Sierra Nevada as we go through the day today as well. So, taking a look at what happened yesterday, if you were up there across some portions of the northern Sacramento Valley, look at all that lightning going on right there. That is what's known as the Shasta County Convergence Zone, and it was in action yesterday. Prolific lightning producing convergence zone, and some along the coastal regions here. And then we scroll off on towards where we are about this morning. But one more time, we'll go back and play that. You can see all those lightning strikes. So, you get what is known as that convergence zone. You get some southerly winds here, and you get the cold air aloft. You get some westerlies above it. There's some terrain features at work there. And if you want to become an expert on that, I'll show you something to read here in a moment as well. But that is what that is, Shasta County Convergence Zone. And you can see as we scroll off in through where we are right about now, we still have quite a few showers moving across the area. And you see some moderate rainfall at times. We have a thunderstorm potential. As we go through the day today, we'll be exploring that as well. And this is one of the actual scientific literatures that you can read on the mesoscale controls of Shasta County Convergence Zone. So if you want to become an expert, go ahead and look that up and go ahead and click there, and you can read till till your heart's desire. Now, if we take a look at what is going on, so this is that troughing we have, and the state of California is right there, Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left. Put this into motion. This is about 18,000 feet. You can see this system sliding down as we go through the day today into tomorrow morning, and then we continue off in through the weekend. And we're going to have another system that rolls to the Pacific Northwest, and this one acting like an inside slider here as well. And in the wake of this system, we may get some high pressure filling in behind it that could kick some offshore winds, but we'll be watching that over the next few days. And first things first, we're going to watch to see what these systems bring. But again, inside sliders, not much precipitation to work with. So we'll take a look at that here in a moment as well. And then it looks like we have somewhat of a pattern change as some colder air is going to be dropping out across the Pacific Ocean here. And we'll just continue to monitor that in the future days to see how that is going to evolve and how that energy is going to kick towards the West Coast. Now, looking at what is going on here today, you can see the precipitation, some rainfall, some light rain for the Bay Area, maybe the Sacramento Valley, some snow flying for the Sierra Nevada. As we go on in through tonight, this would be about 10 p.m. tonight. You can see the snow flying across the Sierra Nevada, so heads up if you're traveling back and forth. Look at some of the snow levels here in a moment. But then as we go on in through tomorrow morning, you can see some light precipitation across some portions of Southern California, mainly the higher terrain. And then you can see a little bit of snow there, maybe Big Bear, some of the higher areas there getting a little bit of a measurable precipitation in the form of snow. And then we watch for this next system. Again, that inside slider, not a lot of moisture to work with, but you can see Northern California, Klamath Range, Cascades, Siskiyous up there across Oregon as well, and then down across the Sierra Nevada, bringing some snowfall with it. And then we might start to build the high pressure in the wake of that system as we go on in through early next week. So taking a look, always like to show the visual diagrams of what is going on above us. This is at 18,000 feet, and we've got a close-up view of California right here. Put that into motion, and you can see this cold air just taking its swing at us as we go through this weekend. And we get a little bit of a break, and then the next lobe here arrives. And again, that's why they call it the inside slider, because it's sliding back down the inside portion of California, and not a lot of precipitation to work with, as I've mentioned before. Taking a look at Eureka, we do have some winter weather advisories out there, and this is going to be going on through today and this morning, this afternoon, and then it'll eventually slide down across the Sierra Nevada as we go through tonight and tomorrow morning. We do have dangerous wave action. I want to mention this because we got some king tides, we got big tides, and we have some elevated waves. So this goes all the way on through 11 a.m. Saturday morning. You can see some of these breaking waves up to 15 feet, 18 feet on northwest facing beaches. Watch out for the sneaker waves and rip currents. Do not turn your back on the ocean. And there's also coastal flood potential, again, associated with the king tide activity and with the increased waves. It can run up over parking lots and some roads and whatnot, and over the jetties, and it can mess with you even if you're on some docks there as well. Now, taking a look at today through Saturday, Donner Peak, 8 to 12, Echo Summit, 6 to 8. Snowfall starting 5 to 6,000 feet, lowering as you go through Friday morning, but that's when the precipitation will be cutting off as well. But that still can drop a nice slick coating as we go through Friday morning. Going from north to south, that precipitation will start to cut off, and this goes all the way on through Saturday, November 16th. Now, isolated thunderstorms again. You can see Redding all the way down through Stockton, maybe Modesto there, or Sacramento here, but typical threats from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. today. Moderate snow. So again, for the higher terrain, they do talk about today and Friday those snow levels. Some gusty winds out there as well. 4 to 10 above 5,500 feet. Now, going a little bit further south, they talk about the main impacts being above 5,000 feet. This is Hanford National Weather Service, and you can see it does include the southern Sierra Nevada. It even shows it down across some of the transverse range here as well. It could be some minor impacts from that, but again, mainly on the roads that are way higher up in elevation, above 5,000 feet. And if we look at Los Angeles, California, there's also some high surf advisories up and down the coastline, some remaining wind advisories as well. We're going to have some strong winds roll down that I'll show you here on a high resolution model in a moment also as we go through the day today. Starting now, in fact. So let's put this into motion, and you can see as we go through this afternoon, look at a pickup across Southern California. The westerlies start to blow, southwesterlies across the Sierra Nevada, and you'll see the wind pick up off the coastline. Look at it coming across the Peninsular Range and out across the deserts out of the west, getting pretty gusty as we move on in towards Friday morning, and that hangs all the way on in through the day Friday. So big rigs, anybody out there, watch out, driving around high profile vehicles as it gets pretty gusty. You could get some blowing dust out there also. And again, strongest where you get up across the higher terrain, some of the pass areas. And this goes on all the way through Friday night. We start to relax that a bit as we go on in through the day Saturday, but still some strong northerlies coming down across Nevada into some of the desert areas. So watch out, that becomes a crosswind there as you go on through the day Saturday. And I do want to point out the wave action here, kind of give you a visual reference to look at. So as you can see, as we're going through the day today, we do have this elevated wave action up and down the coastline. So watch out, especially during high tide. Go ahead and check, Google it, and make sure you know when your high tide is if you're going out to the coastal areas. And then we get a little bit of a relaxation through Saturday, a little bit. There's still some elevated wave action. But as we go through Sunday into Monday, we get another bump here, and the tides are still going to be high all the way up through the 18th and 19th. So heads up for that. Now, this is the GFS. So I want to take a little bit of a look at the extended forecast here, because this is our initial system we talked about in depth. And then we got the next one here, the inside slider. Pretty good model agreement with that one dropping down. It's actually not quite as sharp there as what the European was showing. But through the extended, what I wanted to show you here is the GFS is in some agreement with the European on dropping that cold air out. And when we develop the strong storm well out over the Pacific Ocean, then how will this energy start to move back towards the west coast? We're looking at over 200 hours out, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind that this could be impacting the state of California as we go into the extended forecast, but plenty of time to worry about that. Now, looking at total snow in inches, let's put this into its motions as we go through the day today. This is about 4 p.m. today. You can see it's just starting to hit places. It starts to get towards the central Sierra Nevada here. Starts to move down a little bit south as we go through very late tonight on into tomorrow morning. And you notice that it does show a little bit of that snow across some of the higher terrain in Southern California. And you see locally some pretty good amounts, again, mainly above 5,000 feet for most areas. And we'll scroll all the way out here on in through Saturday morning as that system finally swings through, and we'll be done with that round of precipitation. Now, something I like to look at here sometimes is the apparent temperature. This takes into account wind chill effects. So if I put this through the day today, you can kind of see the warm up. That's the diurnal heating out here up into the valley areas and across the desert and Death Valley and whatnot across Nevada and Southern California. And then you can see we go through the overnight hours and things cool down. And look at the overnight lows. And especially with the wind blowing around out there, things do feel very chilly. And then we go through the daytime and you warm up a bit. That's the diurnal and the nocturnal cycle. And then we go back into Saturday and you can see the things warm up yet again all the way through the valley area. So if I scroll through that really quick, you can kind of see when the heating of the day comes across there, and you can see some of these wind chill values. It's that time of the year, it's fall, and when we get these systems rolling around, it can feel quite chilly out there. Now, taking a look at the extended forecast, according to the European, we're looking across the west portion of the USA. There's California right here. You got Washington State. There's Colorado. We put this into motion, and what I want to show you is as we go through the weekend here, you'll notice right as we start to go in towards the later portion, this high pressure here, actually on Monday, I should say, and then we build this high pressure across the Great Basin, and that's what could start to drive some offshore winds as we go through the early to mid portion of next week. So we're going to be watching that one. You can see it's a pretty good ridge of high pressure here across some of the interior areas. And if we take a look at that, I'm going to scroll out towards the end of the run to kind of show you the winds. You can see them initially north northwest here and westerlies across some of the desert areas. There's California. But then as we go off in towards Tuesday, see how things start to turn offshore across the Bay Area in Southern California. Strong northerlies across the deserts and Nevada as we go into the day Tuesday. And you can see things ramp up as we go through Tuesday night and towards Wednesday morning for Southern California. So we'll continue to watch that and see what the strength of these offshore winds are going to be as we head off in towards next week. Here's the 6 to 10 day, near normal here. Not much to take from this right now. It does show some below normal here, but the main things we're watching for is that inside slider and then the high pressure that fills in behind that. And you can kind of see it does hint at some below normal precipitation amounts across the west during this time frame as well. Now, take a look here. Don't get alarmed by this because this is 2 years ago. This was November 15th. 2022, you can see California, just virtually the entire state locked in some very nasty drought. A lot of moderate, severe, just widespread severe, a lot of extreme and exceptional drought, the worst of the worst across a lot of the San Joaquin Valley. But look where we are now, and you can see how places like Colorado, New Mexico, overall somewhat improvement for New Mexico, not too much though. I mean, the southern portion, came in, still with some extreme drought. Arizona, not doing too hot now, and you can see Utah, some big improvement, big improvement across Nevada also. But look at California. As I scroll back and forth here, look where we were 2 years ago versus where we are now. Some abnormally dry, but clearly much better across the state. I know this is starting to creep in. If you've been paying attention, we're starting to get some of that across the desert areas. Nevada and portions of southeast California is starting to creep in, but still, it is much better than we were 2 years ago. So you got to take into that into account as well. But yeah, anyway, watch out for those showers today. The big wave action up and down the coastline with the elevated tides. Don't turn your back on the ocean. Be aware of when the high tide is. I know a lot of people are probably going to be out viewing because the king tides are in effect up and down the coastline on the west coast of North America. And so, yeah, be careful out there. And again, watch out for the snow flying as we go through today into tomorrow. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We will do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.